Welcome to our 4th annual Golden Leaf Awards ceremony. I'm Carrie Pedraza, and it is my pleasure once again to be the Mistress of Ceremonies for this very, very special day. I know, just like all of you, that we all feel a very special connection to developmental disabilities of Clark County. For me, it's even more personal. I have a nephew, Brian, who we and our family love dearly, and he has been able to take advantage of many of the services that developmental disabilities offers. So let's get started for today. Well, today you're in for a real treat. Our keynote speaker is one of the funniest and most original, humorous, motivational speakers working today, Charles Marshall. Charles knows that real-life heroes aren't rock stars, movie stars, or athletes. Real-life heroes are people who make a difference by believing in and investing in the lives of people around them. In his inspiring and uplifting keynote, Charles recognizes the people who serve individuals with disabilities as the real heroes that they are. Listen to Charles' entertaining and inspiring talk.
Hey, I'm humorous motivational speaker Charles Marshall, and I am so excited to have the opportunity of addressing the developmental disabilities of Clark County organization. I find it exciting and thrilling to think about the work that you guys are doing, and I'm hoping to encourage you with a couple of words of truth. My mom taught me about telling the truth, about being honest. When I was growing up, I remember my mom and I were walking through a parking lot, grocery store parking lot, and my mom said, "Son, if you find $1 in this parking lot, you pick that dollar up, you march that right in the store, and you turn that in. That is not your money." She said, if you're walking through this same parking lot and you find a $20 bill, you pick that $20 bill up, you put it in your pocket, and you run. That is your money. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some truths about being a hero. I'm doing a program in brief today called Real Heroes Don't Wear Spandex: How to Impact Your Life, Your Community with your deeds. In real life, heroes aren't rock stars, they're not movie stars, they're not sports stars. In real life, heroes are people who invest their time, talent, education, and passion into helping the people in their community live better lives. And honestly, that sounds a lot like people who help folks with developmental disabilities, doesn't it? In my experience, I found that real heroes always share 3 distinct characteristics. Number 1, real heroes own their choices. In one of my best-selling books ever, called The 7 Powers of Success, I list the power of choice as the very first power that I talk about in this book. The reason I do that is because choice is the foundation for all of our success. If you don't own your choices, then you're not really maximizing your potential. Everything you do is a choice. I realize this involves a couple of people, but if you're married, that is a choice, largely. Can I brag to you for a second? My wife and I just celebrated our 33rd wedding anniversary. Very exciting stuff. And I'm very proud of that. And it's funny because now my wife and I are at the point in life where people are coming up to us, and we're considered the older couple now. It's really strange. And they ask us for advice. They say, "What is your secret for a long and successful marriage? How did you do it?" We don't have a big secret, but I'll tell you what we've done. My wife and I, our big secret, if you will, is we go out on a date every single week. We've done this since we got married. We go out on a date every single week, no matter what. Oh no, not with each other. That would be weird. I don't think she'd ever do that. But the truth is, we've weathered some storms and we've been through some good times and some bad times. But heroes know that bad times are gonna come. And if you're involved in this organization and helping people in your community, you know you have good times, you had bad times. We wouldn't need heroes though, and this is the important part. You don't need heroes when everything's fine. You need heroes especially when times are tough. But real heroes, when those tough times come, they remember that their mission, your mission, if you will, is to not let negative situations, or if I can be honest, we can be honest with one another, not let negative people sometimes determine your response. They stay on track with what they have determined their mission is. In this case, helping the folks in your community with developmental disabilities. You own that choice. You stay true to your mission and stay true to your original choice to help people in your area. The second trait that real heroes have is they leap into action. They always leap into action. You can't find a hero. I would challenge you to find any example or the existence of any hero that didn't leap into action. They get the call from the commissioner and they listen to what the commissioner has to say about the trouble in Gotham. They hang up the phone and then they go back and watch the rest of their television program. That's not a hero. A hero always leaps into action. I love being around people of action. And how do I define that? Mainly people who don't need to be told to do something good. Don't you love that kind of person? I've been around the other kind of person as well, where there was something that needed to be done in the office or your organization, and they just sat around waiting for somebody else to do it. Real heroes leap into action without people telling them to do something good. My wife and I took the kids to Chick-fil-A. You see this Chick-fil-A cup here? This is for a reason. We took them to Chick-fil-A back when the kids were younger. I guess they were maybe 10 and 12. And we got to the restaurant and we loaded up the tray. Let me get this over here. We loaded up the tray with the waffle fries, with the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches, and the chicken nuggets, and 4 giant shakes. They have these giant shakes. These are really big there. And we took the tray and we put them all that stuff onto our table. Well, my son, he was feeling very boisterous that day, and he was excitedly telling a story, and he's waving his arms around and he's excited about this story. His arm starts swinging in slow motion toward that shake, and there wasn't a thing I can do about it. It's already done. I'm looking over there and I'm trying to catch it before it happens. I'm going, no! But it still happens, and his arm hits that shake and boom! Shake explosion all over the floor as far as the eye can see, all across the Chick-fil-A floor, out the Chick-fil-A door, across the Chick-fil-A parking lot, into Burger King across the street. That massive. Well, my wife and I, we try to be responsible. So we grab some napkins from the table and we start wiping up that mess. But out of nowhere materialized the Chick-fil-A mop and bucket brigade. They ran out and they started cleaning up our mess, thanking us for the opportunity. They're going, oh, thank you so much for this opportunity to serve you. This is really the best part of our day. Thank you so much. And we're like, no, thank you. And all together they went, it's our pleasure. But the thing was, they kind of made us believe that they really thought that. Without us saying anything, the guy who poured the shake in the first place looked across the restaurant. He noticed what happened. He pours another full shake. He takes action. He leaps into action. Understandably, it's just a small thing, but it meant a lot to my son because he poured another full shake. He put it in front of my son. And he said a couple of words of kindness to him to just help him feel better about the accident, because he can tell my son's embarrassed. He said, don't worry about it, buddy. I do that about 4 or 5 times a day. Don't worry about it. And so my son gets the shake, and that would be a pretty good story. Somebody leaping into action in a small way. But the truth is that is only half of the story, because about 10 or 15 minutes later, my son now has sucked down most of that shake, when again he starts telling another story, his arm hits it, and again, boom, shake explosion all over the floor. Again, the Chick-fil-A mop and bucket brigade, they run out, they start cleaning it up, say thank you guys, say thank you so much for this opportunity. This is even better the second time. We appreciate this so much. The only thing that can make us this better for us is if maybe one of your kids had thrown up. That would be awesome. Thank you so much. Where did they find these people? Meantime, the guy who poured the shake has noticed again. He pours another full shake. Did I mention that my son's shake was almost empty? My son has sucked down most of that shake. It's almost gone. The guy pours another full shake for my son, walks it over and puts it in front of my son without anybody asking him to. Now, I'm looking over there and my son has this full shake. And I'm thinking, well, shoot, now that boy has a full shake. The rest of us don't have a full shake. That kid has a full shake. We're going to be driving home and he's going to be sucking down another shake and the rest of us won't have anything. So I took mine. I went, oh no, my shake fell. Better hurry. I mean, there's somebody in danger of being unhappy at Chick-fil-A. Why do I bring up a Chick-fil-A shake story when I'm talking to people who are in the profession and in the business of helping people with developmental disabilities? Because the lesson here is that shakes happen. You get it? Shakes are going to happen. So the real question is, now listen to this, what do you do when the shake hits the floor? Because it's going to, it's about to, and it has over the past 2 years. What does that look like? Well, it looks like, what does a spilled shake look like in your line of work or helping this organization? Well, I tell you, it looks like a pandemic. It looks like things going haywire. It looks like us having to practice social distancing. It looks like systems being disrupted while you're trying to help people. That sounds like a spilled shake to you? Certainly does to me. It sounds like difficult people. You're going to run into people who don't like you no matter what. No matter what you do, you're going to have to deliver bad news to people, and there are going to be instances where people just let it out on you. It might not have anything to do with, probably doesn't have anything to do with who you are or what you just said. That fire might have been lit way before those folks ever ran into you. Maybe those folks had a bad day. Maybe their relative is having a hard time. Maybe they're having a hard time in their own life. Or maybe that's just how they've been their entire lives. But whatever it is, they're going to take that out on you. What do? Well, real heroes pick up their mop. They realize that spilled shakes are just a part of life and that it's going to happen. They pick up their mops, and little disclaimer here, everybody gripes when the shake just hits the floor. We all do it. But real heroes do a couple of things. Number one, they grab the mop and they set the example by starting to fix the problem. And number two, they are thought leaders in their community and they influence the people around them on their team. They say, listen guys, we are going to get finished with cleaning up this mess. We're going to mop up this mess, and then we're going to get on to the good stuff that we signed on for in the first place. We're going to get on to the better part of our day. Spilled shakes don't have a thing in the world. Here's the main point. Spilled shakes don't have a thing in the world to do with fulfilling our mission to help people. If spilled shakes are a given, then we just need to accept that and do our mission anyway. So real heroes own their choices. Real heroes leap into action. And real heroes, probably most importantly of all, real heroes invest in people. We all need people to invest in us. That's what an organization that helps people with a developmental disability is all about. You're investing in lives. I love that so much. I wouldn't be in my position today as a nationally known motivational speaker, if people hadn't invested in me when I didn't look like anything to invest in at all. I grew up poor. I don't know how many people listening to this or watching this program grew up poor, but I grew up poor. And when I talk about poor, I'm talking about hand-me-downs. I'm wondering if any of you ever wore hand-me-downs. And all I had was older sisters. Listen, you try looking tough on the playground wearing a yellow sundress and white sandals, guys, you can't do it. People ask me, Charles, did you really wear hand-me-downs from your older sisters? I literally wore hand-me-downs from my older sisters. I have a distinct memory of my mom talking to me, holding up a pair of my older sister's pants. I think I can pull up a picture of that right now. Can you see that? When I say my older sister's pants, this was the 70s. You think Brady Bunch. It was a pair of blue jeans that my older sister had grown out of, but the blue jeans had bright flowers all over the front of the legs. And my mom's trying to talk me into wearing these things at school. And she said, don't worry, no one will notice that they're your sister's pants. Well, I wore them to middle school the next day, and guess what? They noticed. Fortunately, middle school kids are known for their compassion and understanding, right? No. But I had people, and this is the important part, I had people who mentored me, people who invested in me. When to the rest of the world, I didn't look like anything. I wasn't anything that anybody would care about. But I had heroes stepping up to invest in my life. I love that if you are watching this video, you are one of those people. You're one of those heroes that are impacting the world. There might not ever be a medal pinned on your chest. You might not ever get a trophy. But I believe you're impacting people, because I remember the people who impacted me, and I still am thankful for them every day of my life. Thank you all for your time watching this video. Please be sure to check out my website at charlesmarshall.net or my Facebook page at Charles Marshall Speaks. I've had a great time with you. I hope we can do this all again next week over at my place. I won't be there. I'm going to be on the road, but I'll tell the wife to throw on some hot dogs on the grill. How about that? Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, Charles, for your fun and engaging message. Now it's time to get to the awards. The 2022 Direct Service Professional Excellence Award goes to Tiffany Wanzo. This year's winner has been working to help people with disabilities and employment for over 10 years. She has an excellent track record of placing her clients in jobs, and she works to provide intake, getting them services when needed to be successful on the job, and then set on-the-job coaching experiences, interviews, and placement. She also helps connect individuals with social services. She truly cares for each person, and it's part of her life mission to serve. Congratulations, and thank you, Tiffany.
Good morning. To God be the glory. I want to start off by saying thank you to Clark County Disability Services for choosing me for the Golden Leaf Award. I also want to thank my good friend Nancy Flinchbaugh for nominating me and believing in me to help support my community. I also want to thank the people at OOD, especially Emily Keeney, for sending me referrals and believing that I can help their consumers find employment. I started my career in workforce development 15 years ago, and within these years I have enjoyed advocating, supporting, and helping others find jobs. This award brings joy to my heart knowing that I am being nominated for my small part in helping others in my community. I believe that helping others and being of service is one of my spiritual gifts. But going above and beyond for people and doing things outside of my regular duties is what they will remember most about me, and that is the most fulfilling part of life. They say when you find something you love, make a career of it, and you'll never work a day in your life. Thank you again for my Golden Leaf Award.
The Donis Bailey Self-Advocacy Award goes to Sevda Froelich. Sevda has been working at the Abilities Connection, or TAC, for 36 years, manufacturing Air Force cargo nets, and has been a long-time self-advocate. She regularly advocates for friends and coworkers as a member of the TAC Individual Advisory Board. During Senator Sherrod Brown's visit in 2021, SEVTA spoke to him on how a bill he proposed would benefit her coworkers, and a multitude of other individuals receiving services across the state of Ohio. Thank you and congratulations, SEVTA.
Hello, my friends, my TAC family, and for anybody else involved in the programs, I really would love to thank the people who nominated me for this wonderful award that I just received. And thank you very much to the bottom of my heart. And I hope and pray I'll do the best I can to continue to work at TAC. Again, thank you very much.
The 2022 Champion City Employer of the Year is the Wober Mustard Company. Accepting the award is Chris Wober. This year's winner has employed Mary and Bruce, two individuals with disabilities, for 32 years. More than an employer, the staff of Wober Mustard Company treat Mary and Bruce like a member of their family. Most importantly, Wober's recognizes the value Mary and Bruce bring to our community and the benefits to everyone of inclusion. Congratulations and thank you, Wober Mustard Company.
We would like to thank Developmental Disabilities of Clark County for this wonderful award. We'd also like to say thank you to some people behind the scenes, including Carissa Lish and Myra Starr, who head up our Human Resources Department and work so hard on that. We'd also like to thank our supervisors, the drivers who bring the employees to work every day. We would like to thank the wonderful employees, Mary, Bruce, and Nathan, who've worked hard for Wober Mustard Company for so many years. And we're really proud of this partnership. This is a great asset for Clark County and our community, and we look forward to a continued relationship in the future. And thank you very much. We're very honored.
The recipient of the 2022 Rosemary Paxson Award is Peggy Conley. Peggy has supported and advocated for people with developmental disabilities for over 40 years. Peggy initially supported Town and Country and TAC because her daughter Jennifer attended them, but she soon became active in lobbying for all individuals by serving on the TAC board, participating in rallies, testifying at the Ohio State House, and conducting meetings with elected officials in Washington, D.C. Peggy helped lead the first Ohio chapter of A-Team, a grassroots advocacy effort. She has also authored a book that details her journey with her daughter and helps readers better understand and accept family members and people with disabilities. Thank you, and congratulations, Peggy.
I'd like to thank Superintendent of DD, Will Bagnola, the DD Board, and the people who thought me worthy of nomination for the Rosemary Paxson Award for Advocacy. Ed Tesoro says, advocacy is a big word with a simple meaning. If you believe strongly in someone or something and feel the world at large pays too little attention, it may be up to you to change the equation. When you think of human trafficking, extreme poverty, disease, lack of basic freedoms, how can everyone be too busy? Michelle Irwin says, advocacy also doesn't always mean trying to change the regulations and laws, but working towards a solution for a need. I am pleased and honored to be recognized for doing the hard work of advocating for the well-being of the IDD people. I have been actively and avidly advocating for them since I retired and had the time and energy, and yes, it takes much energy to do this work. To respond to the call that went out statewide in 2009 for all advocates of IDD people to travel to the State House to give firsthand response to the House Bill number 64 that would defund the work centers in Ohio, and H.R. 831 bill that would stop the special minimum wage. These bills would take away more of the rights of the IDD people, but are afforded to every other United States citizen, which is to work where they choose. After 10 hours of testimony from advocates all over Ohio, we were successful in that instance to change the language in House Bill 64 so that our sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews could keep their right to work where they chose to work. We still are fighting to keep the ADA-sponsored special minimum wage. I am honored to be the voice for so many disabled people who don't have the language to speak for themselves, and I am privileged to assist those who can speak, to connect the ones who need to hear their voice. They've done good work over the years, and I applaud them for their efforts. I successfully led the rally on the plaza with the purpose of educating the citizens of Clark County about the Abilities Connection and those who are intellectually developmentally disabled. I led a group of advocates to take on the DRO, which is Disability Rights Ohio, who are a group of lawyers funded by the federal government when they filed a class action lawsuit against Ohio to force a shutdown of all work centers as being discriminatory. At my invitation, they came to Springfield smug in their confidence and left Springfield with a healthy respect for the Clark County advocates who voiced the tough questions and verbalized fact-filled arguments to stop the class action lawsuit against Ohio. Whether it's one or many voices responding to what threatens the IDD people, that voice can have a powerful influence. An advocate is an advocate until the day we die. Thank you.
The winner of the Dr. F.F. Mueller Visionary Award is Kathy Duffin. This year's winner has worked with individuals with disabilities for over 30 years. She worked as the volunteer coordinator for Clark DD for 10 years and currently is a recreation manager with the Montgomery County Board of DD. Kathy is probably best known for coordinating the Clark County Special Olympics, a position she has held for 30 years. She cares immensely about individuals and selflessly gives her time and energy to support them. Kathy is a beloved member of our community and is an outstanding volunteer, advocate, and friend to individuals and their families in Clark County. Congratulations and thank you, Kathy.
I'm very honored to have been nominated for this award and very humbled to actually receive it. I had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Mueller when I interviewed for my first job, 21-year-old fresh out of college, started teaching at Town and Country School, which then led me to be involved in Special Olympics. So I did get to work with Dr. Mueller for a little bit. So that makes this even more special. Special Olympics is really a community effort. I'm just part of a huge group of people who have worked very hard to keep Special Olympics going in Clark County for the athletes. Mike and Patty Meyer were my first contacts when I started. Kay Hudson, Billy Peoples, Rick and Teresa Edwards, Connie Fain, George Adams, Jesse Carrington, Lane Martin, so many people that it takes. It's not a one-person effort. It takes so many people to keep it going. The Evil Sizer family, who raised so much money for us. The Developmental Disabilities of Clark County, so generous with buildings, with supplies, with everything. Let's see. The Duffin family, who have been supportive with my time and with theirs. Whenever there's a need, they all jump in. Kids, hubby, everybody. The program would be absolutely nothing without our athletes. They're the ones who keep us going. So really, this award I share with everybody, including the athletes. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for attending today's Golden Leaf Awards. Congratulations to our award recipients and nominees, And thank you for the work that you do to make Clark County an inclusive and welcoming community. Enjoy the rest of the day and see you next year.